Hello, welcome to my channel. I want to make lunch here and I just thought I'm gonna see if I can film it. I'm a little bit squeezed for time, but anyways, I'm gonna make some kind of soup that doesn't have any meat, but it is so yummy. And so I'm gonna see if I can film it. Right now, I'm just gonna make the noodles. I make them from scratch, and then I'll show you what I put in the soup, and then we'll see how it turns out. I hope it will be good. I mean, the soup will be good, but the video I'm not quite sure about. But anyways, if you like to learn new things, then I would appreciate you watch to the end. And if you like the video, then I would like if you would subscribe and come back for more. I'm going to make an egg noodle. I want to make a noodle, sorry. And then we'll see what the rest of the soup has. So stay tuned, keep watching. Yeah, I'm going to make noodles from 3 eggs. Now, I know it doesn't show on the camera as well as it is in real, but this is from my old hands and these are from my new hands. So these are very small. But anyways, I'm going to use 3 eggs. It doesn't matter how many eggs you use, but it depends on what kind of mixer you have or how big a bowl you have. So anyways, I'm going to crack the eggs into this bowl and put them in here, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of water, just a little bit of cold water, and then the rest is flour. So these are very fresh eggs. Well, they're from yesterday. So my new chickens are just starting to lay eggs. So I'm very excited for that. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to do more baking and stuff. So it's just about maybe 3 tablespoons on 3 eggs, with 3 eggs, and then flour until you have a nice dough. So I'm going to keep mixing. Once I have the dough ready, I'm going to be back. So the dough is nice and ready, like it doesn't stick on the bowl except in the bottom. Now this dough is kind of hard on my machine, and my machine isn't very new anymore, so it kind of sounds terrible with my machine. But anyways, we're going to let the dough rest for a bit, and then in the meantime I'm going to put my soup on the stove. So yeah, I'm just going to take it out of the bowl. When I was still at home growing up, my mom never had a noodle machine, and so she did it all by hand, and she has worked so hard for a bowl of noodle soup. It's nothing for me now, as I'm a mom, to make noodles and stuff. I love making noodles, I really do, but my mom, she always did it by hand, and it was really hard on her hands. But now these days you have all these nice machines, and it doesn't take long to make nice noodles. So it's not a very big dough, but you only need a bit of noodles. So yeah. Anyways, I'm going to let the dough rest for a bit, and then I'm going to, in the meantime, I'm going to put my soup on the stove. Okay, so I'm going to put 8 to 10 cups of water in here. So I have 10 cups of water, and then I'm going to add the rest of my ingredients. I have a large white onion. Now you can use Spanish onions. I prefer not to use blue onions or purple onions. And if you don't like onions, if you don't like to eat onions, you can put them in mash like this. Spice sieve, or I don't know what it is. But anyways, and then I have potatoes. Now, I never really measure. Some people like a lot of potatoes and some don't. So we have a family that like more noodles than potatoes, and some like more potatoes. So I might, let's just measure them. About 3 cups of potatoes. Sorry, my measurements are not very, very good. But anyways, what I have here is bay leaf and clove, allspice, and nutmeg. Like this is from a whole nutmeg. I just crack it. And then 3 of these little toes, or whatever they are, points from an anise star, and then these are peppercorns. Now I will not put them directly in here because you don't want to fish for spices when you want to eat soup. So I'm going to put them in here, and then once the soup is almost done, ready to eat, I'm going to add parsley. So I'm going to cook this with the potatoes, and then we're going to go back to our noodles. Our dough has been sitting, so we're going to make the noodles, and then once this is done, the potatoes are soft, almost soft, then I'm going to add the noodles. And first I'm going to add salt. Now I usually have pink Himalayan salt, but I didn't have any, so I have to use white salt. But if it isn't flavorful enough, then I will just add a little bit of chicken soup base to this. But I'm hoping the soup will taste good enough that I don't need to put this in. So let's get back to our noodles. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of salt. I probably will have to salt it a little bit more later on because the noodles have no salt, but I like to keep adding salt instead of adding water. If it's too salty, then we have to add water, and I don't like to do that. I like to keep adding salt instead of liquid. So let's get back to our noodles, and then let this cook here, and then we'll come back to this once the noodles are done. Okay, the dough has been resting here for a few minutes. It's really nice and soft. I'm just going to take these little pieces off, push them to the side. Okay, this might be a little bit loud, but anyways, I have these pieces to add to this machine. Put them on here, and then we will roll our dough. I feel like it helps if I pull on it a little bit. It makes the noodles a lot more stretchy. You don't need to pull hard enough or so hard that it rips, but you can feel how nice and elastic it feels, and that gives very good noodles. I usually like to have a higher speed on my machine, but it doesn't work very good, so I have to go slow. Now that we have our dough rolled out far good enough, thin enough that I like. I don't like it very thin for these noodles. And I'm making these wide noodles. So for chicken noodle soup, I like the small noodles, the very narrow ones. But for this soup, I'm used to having these bigger ones. So we'll see how, I'm going to do it as good as I can, but my machine goes very loud. So if it goes loud, I'm going to pause the video. So now my soup is cooking. It smells so good. I'm not going to use all these noodles, so I'm just going to put them in a cookie sheet and then put them in the oven with the light on, and then they can dry. And then I'm going to put them in a Ziploc bag and in an airtight container, and then I have my noodles ready for my next butter soup. Okay. So if my machine wouldn't be so loud, I could have made these in about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes at the most. But for the video, I went slow because I didn't want all that noise. Okay, so I have these two strainers here. My dad actually made them. He used to work at a place where they made these, and so they have a few different colors. And so then they didn't put them in or ship them away to stores, and then the workers could buy them if they want to. So my dad actually gave these to me for Christmas, and they have this hook and a hole, or like a little post, little stump, whatever. I put my noodles in there, about half, and then both of them have that, and then I lock it together like this, like you see. There. So they're nice and clean. I think this is all the noodles I'm going to use. And so these I will just leave the flour on here, because as they dry, the flour absorbs, or the noodles absorb the flour. And so I'm just going to leave it like this so that they won't stick together. But I think maybe I'll add a little bit more. Looks yeah. Yeah, this is the bad thing about never measuring. I know it gets a little dirty in my kitchen, but I love making noodles. But anyways. Okay, let's see if our potatoes are a little soft. Yeah, they're soft enough. And so we can add our noodles to this, and then I'll let it cook. I might, you know what, I'm going to add more water to that. I can see that already, that it's going to get very thick, and I'm going to add the water before I add my noodles. So I added 4 more cups of water. The only thing, pretty much what you can do wrong with this soup is have it too salty. That's pretty much the only thing that you can do wrong with this. But anyways, I'll let this come to a boil, and then we'll add our noodles. Okay, so now it's boiling again, so we're gonna turn the stove a little higher, or the burner, and then we're going to add our noodles. You want the water or the soup to be boiling. If you don't, that will clump up, and then you have a big mess. Or if you don't have enough liquid for your noodles to swim, then it will just give a big noodle cake. But yeah, this looks good. Now I always say you can't be in a hurry to add noodles to any kind of soup, like homemade noodles. If you're doing it too fast or your hand is too full, then they clump up, and especially in noodle soup, I don't like my noodles to be sticking together in my bowl. And like this, you can crumble them in there slowly. I know I have the camera probably on the other side of what I should have, but anyways, that's it. So we're gonna let this cook. It looks like it's the perfect ratio, like the perfect amount of water to my noodles. So I'm just going to turn low. It's going to bit till we have lunch. And so then I'm just going to turn it low so that it can nicely simmer. And what we like is the noodles actually a little bit floury, a little bit flour on there. It makes the soup a little thick. And if you cook it for about 10, 15 minutes or even 20 minutes, then the gluten is out of, the flour is dead. It won't make you gain weight. You won't gain weight from this soup if you let it cook up to 20 minutes. But if you just do it like this, if I would scoop it in now and eat it, my stomach would not feel good because the flour is still alive, the gluten is still in there, and so then you get a very heavy stomach, but it feels very heavy. But anyways, I'm gonna leave this in here, let the spices cook and let it all marinate. And I'm gonna get a spoon. And see if it's salty enough. It's not in, there's not enough salt in. I'm going to wait till the spices are cooked a little bit more, and I might put in a little bit of this. So for now, we're just going to let this simmer on low and wait till it's done. But in the meantime, I put the noodles, leftover noodles, in a cookie sheet. So I'm going to put them in my oven under the light, and then I have them ready for next time. Okay, so the time has come to add our parsley. So what I do is I take this out, and then it's quite hot, but I'm going to open it up, and then I'm going to add my parsley. I had a lot of parsley in my garden this year, this summer. So I'm just going to break off a large piece of parsley and add it to my spices. I don't mind having parsley in my soup, but most of my family don't like it. And then I do it this way, and it works for everybody. If I want parsley, I can sprinkle it in my bowl. I know it's not the most convenient way to do it this way, but if everybody liked parsley in their soup, then I would just cut it very fine and add it to the soup, but I do it for my family. So anyways, I'm going to let this cook another 5-10 minutes, but I'm going to add some chicken soup base from this. I'm just going to add, and this has basically no salt, so it's just powder. And then a big pot of soup, then it's only a little bit that you get. The high sodium chicken soup base, I don't like that very much, but okay. Oh yes, that tastes so good. I'm going to add a little bit more salt, just a little bit, half a teaspoon. I'm going to add cream to this as well, and so let this cook for another 5 minutes. And then I think we're going to add the cream, and then we're done with that soup. Okay, so the soup has been cooking another 5 minutes. So what I'm going to add in the soup yet is a whipping cream. I only used half a cup of that and half a cup of half and half cream. So I'm going to add 1 cup of cream to this. Okay, so I just let it come to a full boil or a boil, and so yeah, we're going to see what this soup tastes like. Well, I did a lot of taste tests. Yeah. So that is my soup for lunch, and I hope you try this. It is really good. It is very simple. If you don't make a video while making this soup, then it takes you about 20 minutes, 25 minutes at the most, until you have everything in the pot, and plus the extra little bit of cooking what it takes for the flour to get for the gluten to cook out. So anyways, I hope you like this video. I know it's not the greatest video, but I hope you like the soup. I hope you try the soup. So thanks for watching, and if you don't mind, subscribe and I will bring you more videos.